Look at the size of this monstrosity. We've got a 5.5 kilo pork butt from John Davidson's in Aberdeenshire. We are blessed with sunshine today. It seems to be a bit of a rare occasion the last few weeks. No. I don't blame you for trying, but no. Look at the size of that. Ooh. I've been to put my gloves on, and someone commented on, I think it was the beef rib video, saying I look ridiculous with these black gloves on. And while I think you might have been a bit overreacting, I do agree they don't look the best, but I don't do it for vanity. I do it so that I don't have to keep washing my hands, especially when I'm pressing the shutter button on an expensive camera. They're a bit of a faff, but they're necessary. So this comes without the skin on, which is perfect. I don't want to be dealing with skin, but it does come with a nice thick layer of fat. So I'm just going to score that, just to allow it to render a bit easier. Give the seasoning a bit of a chance to go through. Now the beauty of pulled pork is you can apply almost whatever flavour you like. Some people don't tend to do just salt and pepper, which I will be trying at some point in the future. But I like a sweet pulled pork. So this Angus Oink sweet bones and butt is an absolute favourite in our house. I've been using it for years. It's a big bit of meat. Don't be shy with the rub. It gives it a really nice colour too. But you can, as soon as you open this tub, you can just smell the sweetness. It's got such a really nice flavour. This is a bone-in pork butt, so hopefully that bone should come out nice and cleanly at the end. Look at all the intramuscular fat there. There's so much going on. Gee. If you're new to longer cooks, pulled pork is one of the safer meats to do. It doesn't mean it's foolproof. You can still cock it up a little bit, but it's pretty forgiving. There's so much fat going through the piece of meat, and you don't have to get a massive big 5.5 kilo pork butt. I normally get a 2 to 3 kilo rolled pork shoulder. That does pretty much just as good a job. We've got family coming over this weekend, and I just thought, do you know what? Sorry, I'll do a big bit. But if I can offer you 2 words of advice. Number 1, do not underestimate how long it takes for one of these, especially this size, to defrost. Work got in the way of me taking this out the freezer, yesterday morning, and I only took it out yesterday afternoon, and it's currently midday Friday, and it's only just thawed out. And the second bit of advice from past experience is do not underestimate how long this takes to cook. If somebody tells you on social media, oh, theirs only took 6 hours, that doesn't mean yours will take 6 hours. I've done a massive big piece like this in the past. I think it was 6.5 kilos. And from memory, it took me about 14, 15 hours. So yeah, don't rely on somebody else's word for it. Just allow yourself as much time as you can. And don't do what I do and start your cook midday, because I guarantee this will be finished in the dark. But the reason I'm doing this is because I find pulled pork is actually much better if you cook it and then warm it up the next day. Honestly, it's an absolute game changer for me anyway. It has been. All I do next day is warm it up, apply a bit more sauce, and you're good to go. That smoke is almost at temperature. I'm going to let this sit for about 10-15 minutes and then get it on the grill. Temperature is about 260 Fahrenheit, which is about 130 Celsius. So I've just closed the bottom vent down, just closed the top vent down to maintain the temperature. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this one-handed, it's that fucking big. Oh, Jesus. Just going to get this meter in, set up my app, and we're good to go. We'll probably come back in about 3 hours. Looking good though, innit? Temperatures have been fluctuating today. It's currently just over 150 Celsius because the wind just keeps on whizzing through. Keep adjusting these vents just to try and control it, but it's not too important with pulled pork. It's a pretty resilient cut of meat. And remember when I said, don't underestimate how long this takes? We're nearly 5 hours in now, and it's just about 72 internal. Ooh. Oh my God, I made a right mess of me deflector plate. Should have got a bigger drip pan. But this fat is hot and really soft, so I'm going to wrap it in tin foil for the rest of the cook. I think I might have needed a bigger pan for my pork. Oh, Jesus Christ, that's a monster. So we'll take that meter probe out for a second. We'll put a little bit of this apple cider vinegar and water in, just for a bit of moisture. I don't think it'll need it. I've done these before, straight through, no wrap, plenty of times, and it's always worked out really well. But because this is taking so long to cook, I don't want to take any risks. To get that wrapped nice and tight. This is the Costco thicker foil. It's super premium quality apparently. It's a bigger piece and it's a thicker gauge foil as well. Some weight in that. I'll put the probe back in. That's going to take a number of hours yet, so I'll keep you updated. 8 hours in, and the temperature is saying we're at 98 Celsius internal. I had a bit of a nightmare. My little foil tray gave way and it started spitting fat all over me barbecue. Oh my good God, what a mess. I'm cooking on that tomorrow as well, so I'm gonna have to give it a damn good clean. Lordy, lordy. It smells outrageous round here. The smell of this pulled pork has just gone so far. I'll bring it in for a close-up. Not sure what's happened with the skin. You normally get a bit of a split across the middle, but that's really given way. I can only assume that's a good thing. You might not be able to see here, but we have a range cooker in our kitchen, which is on 24 hours a day. So I've left the tray resting on top of the cooker just for a bit of heat. I'm also going to learn from my mistakes and use a much bigger tray. If we very carefully put that in there. Now this is a key opportunity for me to say, don't do as I do, do as I say. Plan well in advance. I should have taken this out of the freezer earlier. I should have been able to cook it earlier. It's currently 9:30 at night. Oh my fucking God. That is as black as the night sky, and it is, oh, your finger could just bury in that, but I'm not going to because it's quite hot. I don't have any fancy claws, and I also don't have any of those heat-proof gloves that go underneath your black nitrile glove. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm just using kitchen forks, but you don't need anything else. Obviously the real test is getting the bone and pulling that out. That's a nice clean bone that the dog is standing behind me, literally begging to chew it, but he ain't getting it. No. What I'm going to do is pour all this into my bigger tray. Yeah, you probably can't see that. The bark is just, it's glistening and black. This looks like it's going to be a nightmare. It's going to go all over the kitchen worktop, but this might just, yeah, it's going to work. Okay, that, yes. Make sure all those juices go in. I'm trying to stand out of the way of the poor light we have in this kitchen. But like, oh my God. There's nothing more satisfying than pork that just pulls. This is taking just no effort whatsoever. It's just, I can't describe it. If you've cooked pulled pork before and you've got it right, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't cooked pulled pork before, you don't need to go and get a 5.5 kilo pork butt. There's quite a lot of people, especially YouTubers, there's quite a few videos out there that cover budget pulled pork options. There's a lad called Ed's Barbecue. He does a number of videos where he's bought pork shoulder from Morrison's, really cheap. I've used a supermarket pork shoulder in the past, a while back. Honestly, there isn't a major difference. I can confidently say if you buy cheap steak and more expensive steak, there is a difference. That's not to say cheap steak's no good, but there is a difference. And I'm sure a butcher will tell you that I'm talking absolute rubbish, but I don't feel there's as big a difference between quality pork and supermarket pork, if you like. What we're aiming to do now is just mix this as much as we possibly can, because there's going to be lots of different muscles in different parts of the shoulder. They all cook slightly differently. There's lots of bark around the outside. You want to break up that bark and get a little bit of bark and as many pieces of pork, as many mouthfuls of pork as you can. What I have got here is some Maldon sea salt. Now granted, this is a heavily seasoned piece of meat beforehand, but you can't, unless you're, I can't remember who it was. I watched a video a while back and they made a very good point, and they said, unless you're brining this for a while before cooking, you ain't seasoned the middle of the meat. It's such a big joint, you ain't getting seasoning in the middle of the meat. So we'll get a little bit of salt in there, not too much, just to lift it a little bit. Now I put some Angus and Oink sweet bones and butts on this. You can put more on at this stage as well. I like a nice, sweet, saucy pulled pork. I know I think the American Carolinas or Texas way of doing things is potentially a bit more a vinegary sauce. So what I'm going to go for is the glazed and confused from Angus and Oink. It'd be rude not to taste it. There's a bit of bark there beforehand. I think I forgot to film that, so I'm going to have to taste some more. And I was saying something along the lines of, I don't think I've ever tasted pulled pork before putting sauce in it. And this tastes stunning. I can taste pure pork, smoky pork, and I feel like I might have been ruining it all these years with barbecue sauce, but ruining is a bit harsh because that sauce on this meat is phenomenal. I've fed like 40 odd people in a barbecue with a massive big pork shoulder in the past, and everyone raved about it. But this, oh my God. I didn't need to fall in love with pulled pork again, but I think I have just fallen in love with pulled pork again. I don't think I've cooked pulled pork for probably almost a year, maybe more. I don't think I've ever done pulled pork on this channel. Sometimes you'll find little rubbery bits. There's a big rubbery bit there, and it's just like a membrane type thing. Get rid of that. When you get a little bit of the outer fat, the bark, some juicy pork, It's just full of flavour. Oh, honestly, stop listening to me and go and order yourself a pork shoulder. My wife's due home in about 20 minutes. I'm going to let her taste this and debate whether we put our favourite barbecue sauce on it. I think I might split it into two, test it with both sets of parents who are coming round tomorrow, see which one they prefer. Thanks for watching. Hello to all the new subscribers. Thanks to all the old subscribers. And if you're going to be a dick in the comments, don't waste your time, because I couldn't give a shit.